Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga on the Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. We had missed 2 Sundays due to travel, elections, and the cricket match, and we are back with your favorite program, Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom. Today is episode number 235, and today's topic is Lok Sabha polls 2024, the pulse of the people. For the next half an hour to 45 minutes, we will be discussing this very important program, which is between the seventh uh, 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 polls or seven different dates of polls in India, and the exit poll and the results which are coming on the 4th. So, with this, it is going to be Dr. Swamy who will be starting the discussion. I have to tell you that both Dr. Swamy and Dr. Arvind Chaturvedi have some statistical background, not some, but they are from a statistical background, so that will help us in discussions today, and the political inputs also will help. So I wish to remind our viewers that we are not only on YouTube and Facebook, we are on numerous spaces and numerous podcasts and other social media channels, which you can watch us simultaneously on your social media channels. So with this word, it is over to Dr. Swamy to start the discussion on the Lok Sabha polls 2024, the pulse of the people. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Thank you, Jagdish. My first prediction or my pulse of the people tells me that BJP will single-handedly not get a majority, and they may put any amount of sample surveys that they want. The fact is, when the results come out, BJP will be around 220. This is what I expect. So the battle will be who's going to get the assemble the majority. My opinion is that if the present majority of the BJP, which has some parties in as members, and they can also put up candidates in tandem with us, that's not enough. Some more will have to come, and they may put a condition that you can have a BJP prime minister, but it will not be Mr. Modi. There is a widespread, and let me tell you that no matter how much you bribe the newspaper people to put all the gloss and so on, the fact is that there's almost a national unity that Mr. Modi should now retire, and perhaps if he wants to go permanently to the Indian Ocean, to the rock there, that's up to him, or the Himalayas, wherever. But he has made enemies throughout, not only within India but abroad, and he is not fit to lead this country anymore. I was one of the people who was in favor of his being made the prime minister at that time, but over the years it became more and more self-centered. He got rid of everybody. He sent Advani to Margadarshan Mandal or whatever that is called. So many people I can give you. And ultimately brought all the chamchas who had no roots in the country, like the foreign minister we have today, Mr. Jaishankar. What roots he has in our party, or what has he done? The party workers can identify with them. So therefore, he wants to rule himself and Mr. Amit Shah and perhaps Adani, and he wants to rule the country, and therefore there is an undercurrent, very strong undercurrent. So I begin by saying that we will the pulse is that the pro BJP, but not Modi, has a chance. If they come, they would be much better advised, saying that at least in the beginning, they should not aim for the prime ministership. Somebody like Mamata Banerjee could be for some time, and then maybe you can agree that 2.5 years, 2.5 years, something like that you can do. But the fact of the matter is that BJP is going to be the single largest party, so it has to be part of the government, but not necessarily as a leader. Now, I would say another thing is that uh, one must notice that there has been a lot of very clear innuendos which show the unhappiness of RSS. Now, no party can succeed in getting votes cast unless the RSS workers worked work, because they know the expertise. They have no personal involvement in wanting to be ministers and etc., and they do a job effectively. When Nadda said that we don't need RSS, I think they have committed suicide on that spot itself. And I think this party should have an analysis after the fact that this didn't get majority. We should find out why these people spoke like this when there's been the bedrock. RSS been our bedrock. So therefore, those are things that need to be rectified. So I would say the question will be very crucial as to the role the RSS plays, and on that, they may have not worked as much because they didn't work because they were not called to work for the BJP. But the fact is that they have a network, and that network is respected by many people in the Congress, except a few Italians that the Congress party has. So even the Congress party would be ready to make accommodation. Many of them have spoken. Some of them have spoken to me about it, of my what I thought whether that is a feasible possibility and so on. I said, well, in that case, the Italian family should go back to Italy, and we should have a pure Hindustani, politics in our country. So I would, I'm not being harsh unnecessarily. I'm just only saying that BJP has got a long-term permanent base in India, because they have cadres in every place. They can be defeated. They can have 2 seats only, like in Atal Bihari Vajpayee got us 2 seats in 1984. But in no time, in 5 years, they got 121 seats, and then went on to more seats, and ultimately formed a government. So the RSS ability to play a role in rejuvenating the BJP is very, very high, and we should cultivate that, and we should, promote that. So I would begin by saying, don't be in a haste. I would tell the BJP, don't be in a haste to become the ruling party with the prime minister of yours. Be a ruling party, take important ministries, but leave somebody else to do it. And over a period of time, that person is not up to it, you will automatically get a chance to fill the vacuum and take over as a BJP governed country. So this is what I would say today. But one thing should be made absolutely clear: Modi has done 2 terms, and nobody is supposed to get more than 2 terms. And he himself, at one stage, agreed to it. So, therefore, all put together, plus there are some items in Gujarat which I don't want to come to public, which will harm the party itself. So, let Mr. Modi and, of course, Mr. Amit Shah, who's so intimately connected with him, both go and do some social work. But the BJP should be remodeled the way I gave to you. This is my opinion, personal opinion. I have not based it on any analysis on facts and so on. But in this short term time you have given me, Jagdish, I have put together this thought and put it to you. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy. I would now request Arvind Chaturvedi. I think he has some problem of logging in. Arvind Chaturvedi to give his perspective of the elections.
Yeah, thank you, Jagdish. Let me first give you a brief of the opinion polls, exit polls done by many media organizations in India. And surprisingly, for the first time, all the exit polls are converging to a single figure, which is also very surprising because the methodology is different, the sample is different, the data collection points are different, but somehow it looks to me that somebody from the BJP office has given them on a piece of paper that these are the figures you have to project, and this is what media organizations have done. I totally reject the exit poll results which have been shown by different media organizations yesterday. Let me also mention one new thing in the media today. Z News or Z Group has done another survey, another exit poll, but this exit poll is not based on a sample survey like the others have done. Z claims that this is the data collection based on the social media sites based on artificial intelligence. And they claim the data has been gathered from 10 crores people, 100 million. I mean, it is very surprising, but anyway, the claims are to be examined. 10 crores people, that means every sixth voter, like almost about 60 crores voters have voted in this election. That means every sixth voter has been counted. And the results given by Z News today in the evening are slightly different from the other channels, but they also say that BJP plus NDA is crossing about 300. They say 305 to 315, while the other media organizations are roughly centering around a figure of about 360 plus. And the India position, of course, has been making his claim. But one thing before I discuss these results about the sample size. One channel, News 18, has claimed that they have covered a sample size of 95,000. 95,000 is spread over about 530 constituencies. Some of the constituencies have been left out by them, which comes to an average of about 180 per Lok Sabha constituency. 180 per Lok Sabha constituency, in my opinion, is very small sample size for a population, that is population of voters, which is roughly around 20 lakhs. But even then, some other channels have a total sample size of 20,000, 22,000, which means per Lok Sabha constituency about 40 people, 45 people. Now, in a Lok Sabha constituency, if you contact 40 people, even if we do a genuine work, I am a student of statistics. I know the importance of sample size and how the sample size should be calculated, especially in India, when people are divided based on income, gender, occupation, age, and so many other caste, especially. And if you take the variance into account, the more the variance, the larger should be the sample size, which is a statistical principle of sampling. But that has not been kept, in my view, into account before these exit surveys have been done or presented. So therefore, the exit poll surveys, whether they present 362 NDA or not, this is out of question. What Dr. Swamy has said about 220 to 225, that is his estimate based on, again, as he said, pulse of the people. Dr. Swamy also has been in Indian politics for more than 50 years now. And he is also, as Jagdish had mentioned in the beginning, a student of economics and statistics. So a professor of student economics at Harvard, he can also judge the pulse of the people. And my views, my estimates are slightly different from Dr. Swamy in this stage, but it is not as high as claimed by the media organizations yesterday, including the ZTV. This is the table that you can see, which is there on your screen, which says that NDA, that is BJP plus allies, they're likely to get close to 85 seats, 255. But this 255, which I'm giving to BJP, according to state-wise breakup, is also there. That is also based on some logic, and I'll explain that logic just now. This 255 is the highest. My lowest estimate is 250 and 230. And when Dr. Swamy said give a figure, my figure comes out to be 243 for BJP, 42 for rest of the NDA allies. That means 285, very close to formation of the government. Even if this number is achieved by BJP and NDA, the government is going to be on the edge all the time, and one small party can always blackmail and bring the government down. So this is very great danger to Indian democracy in the next 5 years to come. But let me just explain the logic behind these figures. You see, there are 5 states: Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. These 5 states cover 206 parliamentary constituencies together. Haryana 10, UP, I mean, Haryana may be small. Why I'm including Haryana, I'll tell you the reason. Bihar 40, Maharashtra 48, and Karnataka 28. Out of these 206, why I'm putting them in one category is, in all these 5 states, there's going to be a drastic change between what NDA had got in 2019 and what they're getting now. In 2019 election, they got 179 seats out of 206. 179. That means opposition had only 27 seats, less than 10%. 90% seats were BJP. This time, Haryana, they're going to lose drastically, 2 to 5 seats. UP, they are going to lose drastically. UP, my estimate is roughly around 50 for BJP and 30 for India Alliance. Bihar, they are going to lose. Bihar, they are going to be just about 50-50 between NDA and India. Maharashtra, they're going to lose badly, and similarly in Karnataka. So in these 5 states, the difference between what the seats BJP had got in 2019 and what they are going to get this time, according to me, is going to be between 50 and 90. That means this is the reduction in the number of seats the BJP had got. Second category, I'll put 6 states, which are Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Now, first 5 seats are those where BJP had swept almost 100% seats. West Bengal, they had got 18 out of 42. Now, in these states, 5 states put together, out of 147 Lok Sabha constituencies, BJP and NDA had secured 116. And this time, I'm putting in second category because this 116, they are going to maintain. They may be 1 or 2 seats lost here and there. Maybe in Rajasthan, they may be loss of 4 or 5 seats, but they will compensate that in West Bengal. So putting together, out of 116 they had got in these 5 states, these 116 will be maintained by BJP. Third category, I put the other states: Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Punjab, Assam, and Orissa. These 7 states constitute 148 Lok Sabha seats, and out of 100 Lok Sabha seats, BJP had minimal presence in the last election. This time, BJP is going to improve. They may get few seats in Tamil Nadu. They may get few seats in Andhra Pradesh because of alliance with Chandrababu Naidu. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana both. Telangana, they had 4 seats. They may increase the tally. Punjab, they had only 2 seats. They may improve by 1 or 2 seats. Assam and Odisha, of course, they are going to also get about 4 or 5 seats. So put together in these 7 states, I'm going to put 25 seats additional in the favor of BJP. That means in these 3 categories of 19 states, BJP is going to lose overall because they're going to lose big in the first category. They're going to maintain the second category of 7 states, and they're going to lose. They're going to gain 25 seats in the third category. Overall, BJP is going to lose about 50 seats. And this is a very logical analysis if you go by state number of seats, and the reasons I can also tell you. So BJP is going to get not more than 255 seats in any case. The results from Uttar Pradesh, especially if I analyze, and Haryana, I will not be surprised if Congress gets all 10 out of 10. UP, I will not be surprised if the India Alliance gets 40 and BJP is reduced to 40. Because the wave was sweeping eastern Uttar Pradesh and western Uttar Pradesh, leaving few seats of Awadh area in between. So in eastern Uttar Pradesh, except Banaras, nothing is in favor of BJP. So I'm saying in the last 2 phases actually, BJP may lose 20 seats alone in Uttar Pradesh. and this is I'm saying with a lot of confidence. And therefore, my estimate is going to be not more than 255 for BJP, and the average number of seats is going to be 243 for BJP, 42 for NDA allies. So total is 285. Again, I repeat what I said earlier at the cost of repetition, that BJP will be on the edge. In 2014, BJP had just crossed 270, but with the help of allies, they had some kind of stability in the government. This time, if BJP forms the government will not be stable at all, because any small party will do the jumping around and affect the stability of the government. This is what I have to say, and then we'll discuss.
I have one point.
Sir.
In my opinion, as a member of the BJP, and earlier a member of an MMP of the Jansang and Janta Party, having known all our people and so on, I would say this, that BJP, if it decides on its own that it will not permit the Congress to form a government, number one, and number two, itself will not make a bid for forming a government, then in a very short period, maybe 3 years or even less, a little here and there, BJP will once again, judging by its past history, will rise and become a full majority party. So therefore, we should purge the party of all the people who have ruined its name. Some people have even said horrible things like Nadda said about RSS. These are intolerable things. You see, the RSS may not care. Say, oh, koi bhi bakte rehta hai, to bakne do. But the fact is that we all have benefited in the elections and other times from the support given by RSS. So we should all stand up, and all those who spoke in these terms, they should be isolated, and so that there's a new formation for the BJP. That's just want to add to that. Yes, Ramesh.
Jagdish ji, you go ahead first.
Arvind,
Maharashtra is important.
I have not quickly done the calculations of what you have put up. But if you are telling me that Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the BJP is not going to be doing well, then I am surprised how the figures can add up to your total, because you have said Uttar Pradesh, I said, I don't know, 50. Did you say 50 out of 80, which was last time 64 out of 80? Uttar
Yes,
Pradesh.
correct. Yeah.
So I don't know from which are the other states it's going to recover. Maharashtra also, although your Maharashtra figures are a little different, Maharashtra, it appears that both the parties, BJP has NDA has a slight edge, but it won't be like last time's 41. It could be 25, 26 out of 48. So I am not very sure after all these losses how your figure is coming up to that figure. I hope it is true. As a BJP man, I would like the BJP or NDA to be in power, but from your calculation, at least this is my prima facie observation. Another point which I wanted to make is, I've been watching many of these channels, and the way they are projecting and correcting it. Rajasthan, they say there are 33 seats NDA is leading, when there is only 25 seats in Rajasthan, and so many other things. For example, I am told that there is a tweet saying that 13 seats will be won by the Congress in Tamil Nadu. And I think it is corrected by the Congress spokesman that we only contested 9.
11.
Subject to correction.
9 or 11,
yeah. Something. Yeah. So these are some of the things. Maybe they are by oversight mistakes. But for example, if you see what the national TV channels and newspapers are saying about Maharashtra, the Marathi TV channels and the Marathi newspapers have a different picture. So I don't know who is glued to the ground. Everything will come out on the 4th, but it appears that these what you say exit poll seem to be some sort of a racket. In fact, I don't know, the earlier it is banned, it is better because it is totally confusing. And the biggest thing is the newspapers next day produce poll of polls.
Yes.
They put together all this and say this is the average total of what people are saying. That is not statistics. Poll of polls is no statistics. We don't know each of the sources of the different agencies. So this is my prima facie comment. I think now Ramesh has some questions.
Yeah, 1 second, Jagdish. Let me just remove this. Arvindji, I noticed that in Tamil Nadu, you've given BJP 3 and rest ND. That, let me put it this way, and basically you're saying ADMK is 0. I think that's a little bit far-fetched in my personal view. Okay, 3 for BJP is absolutely not possible.
Only one.
Dr. Swamy predicted 1 in Tirunelveli, Nayanar Nagendran. If in fact Annamalai himself said right after the polls, Coimbatore, that about 1 lakh votes were stolen.
Yes.
He himself said, okay, but then he pretty much said, okay, I'm not going to come. Everybody predicted the same thing. They all news items were all the talk about it. Suddenly today he said, now I'm going to win. How is this so? Did they find the 1 lakh votes? See, let me put it this way. Based on what I know, what I have spoken in Coimbatore, DMK has worked very hard to ensure that Annamalai doesn't come, irrespective of the fact whether it's popular, whether we want him to come, candidate. So we want obviously BJP to win. But the point is, you have to understand, DMK has put in extra work to ensure that he is defeated. So from that angle, I think Tamil Nadu is going to, probably BJP is going to be 1, other maybe 1. But other than that, I think it's going to be a fight between DMK and ADMK. I have a feeling that ADMK will spring a surprise in 1 or 2 seats. They might spring a surprise, is what I feel about Tamil Nadu. Overall, Dr. Swamy, I have not like in day-to-day into Indian politics, but I do understand some of it. Anything less than 272 for BJP, in on its own, Modi cannot become the PM because nobody's going to accept him. So because, hey, you claim that you are a leader and all those things, and you had history, people saw them as autocratic and all those things, which in fact he is, in my personal opinion. But again, less than 272, if he is going to go hunt for seats and try to become a PM, I don't think anybody, even the existing allies, Arvindji, in my view, are going to extract more pound for your flesh. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Because, and I don't think Modi's mentality is to go, quote unquote, even though he claims himself to be a sadhu, he cannot go beg. He cannot go beg because the sadhu is supposed to take bhiksha. But anyway, he cannot go and accept. He cannot do that. That's not in his psyche. He has, for the past 2 things, he's only ordered, being a chief minister of Gujarat or the 2 terms as a PM. He's always been in command and demanded stuff. He cannot going to go beg. That's not in his DNA. It's not going to happen. Since anyway he doesn't have DNA, he's not biological. He's not doesn't have DNA either. But he's not going to go beg for votes. That's not going to happen. And you mentioned something about Amit Shah being the horse trader in chief. I don't think even any amount of money is going to push people, because at this point in time, when you see somebody is vulnerable politically, they want to make sure that he's finished. So if BJP says, I'll give you 10 crores, somebody else is going to say, I'll give you 20. I mean, this trading is going to happen. It's going to be a tough time. So BJP is going to be the single largest party, as Dr. Swamy said. And I think if we want to form an alliance of Hindu parties or like-minded Hindu parties and keep Congress away at any cost, we have to keep those jokers away at any cost. My view is there's only one person who can stitch an alliance, and that's Dr. Swamy. What comes out of the alliance, we don't know. But in my personal view, if I look at the landscape, based on the assumption it's less than 272 or 255, based on what you're saying, Arvindji, is the only person who can stitch an alliance, be it Mamta. Because as he said, Mamta is on the fence if Karge is selected. So Mamta is on the fence that way, because she's going to want her pound of flesh. I think Jagan, people are saying BJP is going to sweep Andhra. I think they're daydreaming or smoking something. Chandrababu Naidu, he's a third-rate cheat. He's gonna please BJP, fool BJP like nobody's business. People who don't know him, they're going to learn a lesson this time. So Jagan, and again, as Jagdish said, 50-50 in Maharashtra, that's going to play a significant role. In fact, I would go to that much extent, even though not desirable, Dr. Swamy, I know you wouldn't want it. Even DMK will support an alliance like that because there is a chance, because it is because of there is Dr. Swamy. Because Dr. Swamy is a politician in all practical senses. He's in good terms with all of them. But all of them have only one goal. Less than 272, Modi cannot become the PM. And Modi himself said in a Times Now interview, Swamy is kind of alluded to that he's going to pay back whoever attacked him during these elections. So that is not a good sign for India as a democracy. I can tell you that. So these are my few words. And since it's an quote unquote an opinion poll, I think there are a lot of viewers who are jumping on saying that everybody has an opinion. So relax. We also have a right to our opinion. We can say what we want. And in this setting, we are a democratic setting. So we can say what we want. If you have a voice, please go ahead, start your own channel, make your voice see, and see how many people listen to you. We want to present something. And this is not something that just pulling out of thin air. And Arvindji completely exposed all these opinion polls, completely bogus. They have no clue what's happening in the ground. They just go to some rural booths and say that 25 people, 40 people, as he said, per booth or per constituency, which is a ridiculous number. It's 0.0000. Some zeros by 1%. When you have 650 million votes, you go to 20,000. What kind of an average is that?
But they are paid well.
Ramesh, let me just interrupt you on this methodology. News 18 channel, which claims to have taken a sample survey of 95,000 people, they have admitted the methodology adopted by them on the channel, and they have declared in market research there's a term called day after recall. This phrase is day after recall because most of the advertising recall is done after the 1 day. So this opinion poll, phase 1 to phase 6, they have not done on the polling booths. They have done based on day after recall at the residences of the voters. Now 40 voters per constituency or 50 voters per constituency in the whole, and that too after 1 day election. Only 7th phase they have done on the polling booth. So they have mentioned it on the methodology. So their methodology itself is not actually exit poll, the way exit poll is known all over the world.
Correct.
So this is the falsehood in the methodology adopted by them.
Yeah. One more thing, Dr. Swamy, just go back. In terms of even stitching an alliance, I forgot to mention Orissa. He was a good partner for Modi. Suddenly in this elections, Modi stomped on him. I mean, that is actually a very bad move of stomping Orissa out and going to Nitish Kumar of all people. Yeah, I'm telling you, you can bet on, I can buy 100 lotteries and expect to win, but trying to put your bet on Nitish Kumar, I don't know what to say, Dr. Swamy, because Odisha and Patnaik is a very decent man. He's going to do a business deal with you. He'll do a deal with you. But again, you go talk to someone and you trample him. I think that's again a wrong move on BJP's part to abandon, Odisha like that. And again, stitching to that alliance. And coming back to this methodology, Arvindji, and nobody has disclosed to a large extent, as you said, sample size. We are just making some. And what is the statistical modeling? How are you extrapolating 40 to 400 million? How is that extrapolation a factor? I mean, is there a rural versus urban divide? Nothing. And none of these polls have, even when typically in the US, when the exit poll, when they come out, they do not only ask you who you vote for and what made you vote for them. There is no such thing. It's just some random bunch of numbers piled up. Yes. Because if you look at the core factor that this election is going to be driven on when we see the results on Tuesday, is going to be the economy, unemployment. These two, by far, because economy, look at price, rise, all those things, that's all inflation, all the thing. The second is unemployment. We are at 8%. It will be historic win for Modi if he wins a majority. If it's an 8%, when there was 3 to 4% in 2014, we are at 8% today, double unemployment, and somebody winning an election with the majority is going to be a huge surprise. That's my view on this thing.
well taken point.
Just one more thing, Dr. Swamy will endorse what I say on this statistical method. You see, I had said earlier, the kind of diversity we have among the voters, that means the variance is huge. And this kind of sample size is not going to project anyway. Now, second thing is, in India, it is very problematic to convert the voting percentage into seats. Unless you do the opinion poll on every single Lok Sabha seat independently and come to a conclusion from the popular votes percentage, it is very difficult to convert because of the multiplicity of the parties. One party which was with one alliance in the last election, now they have switched the side. You cannot really transfer the votes. For example, look at what is happening in Uttar Pradesh or what is happening in even Andhra now. Chandrababu Naidu going and coming in Ram Vilas's Paswan's party from 2002 and onwards, jumping several times. Nitish Kumar jumping several times here and there. It is very difficult to consolidate one party's votes and convert that. So conversion of popular seat, they say BJP is going to get 52% votes. 52% votes overall. That does not mean that 52% in all the constituencies. So the average conversion is a problem. In only UK and USA, where there is a two-party system, this conversion from popular votes to number of seats has been found correct. They say if the two parties in the two-party system get votes percentage A proportionate to B, then the number of seats will be A cube proportionate to B cube. That has been done perfectly in UK and USA, and it is not possible in India. Therefore, most of the opinion polls and exit polls go wrong because they try to convert the percentage of votes polled, popular votes, into the seats, and this is where they fail.
Right.
Jagdish ji.
No, my thing is same again about these exit poll. Whatever the numbers tomorrow, at least exit poll are slowly losing its credibility always in all the places. In fact, one of our viewers from Bengal put up saying that last assembly election, they said that Mamta will be defeated, but she came back with a big majority. So these exit polls could be anything. It's, according to me, a money-making racket. Irrespective of who they are favoring, it's a money-making racket. And one very reliable person in the BJP told me in the 2019 elections, he was there in a very popular channel, which also runs a chain of newspapers in India, that when they had a discussion with three people, staff and himself, he was from the BJP, they were having some stupid figures, and he told them these figures don't look reliable, especially from Kerala and Tamil Nadu. They had given 5 each. Tamil Nadu 5 BJP will win, and Kerala some 5 BJP will win. When he himself was having doubts on these figures, they said, okay, correction kar dete, 0-0 kar dete. So this is the type of things which we hear. And tomorrow, day after tomorrow, at least these facts on this exit poll will come out and the pulse of the people will be known. That's my comment. But if what Arvind says is Bihar and UP, there's going to be a different pattern. At least Bihar thing, everybody admits it is not going to be 39 out of 40. Last election, it was 39 out of 40 for the NDA. And perhaps all these exit polls are saying it will be less than 30 or around 30 or something, even less than that. That is one unanimity at least. That if what Arvind Chaturvedi says about Uttar Pradesh and what I feel strongly about Maharashtra and some of the southern states, I think what Dr. Swamy has been saying, perhaps it is closer to that number. But anyway, the pulse of the people will be known on day after tomorrow, on the 4th. Maybe by this time we can have another discussion on our channel to review the actual pulse of the people. So I request if Ramesh ji or Arvind has any comments, or Dr. Swamy wants to say anything on these exit polls or these how the surveys are done, then perhaps Arvind can have the last word.
The only thing I will say about the exit poll, Balas, is that the next government if it is not afraid, uh, should investigate who gave them the money, and you'll know exactly how it is being motivated. It's about time to expose them as people who are paid for giving the kind of opinion they do.
I'll just take 1 minute to tell you one small story. In 1984, when I left my market research job and started my own firm called Pulse, in fact, coincidentally, it was Pulse Marketing Research Consultants, and I did an opinion poll for a newspaper called Patriot. Patriot newspaper was edited by Mr. R.K. Mishra, who later on joined Reliance Observer Foundation as a head. And he told me when he invited me for opinion poll that I'm conducting this opinion poll the first time in my life for the newspaper. So I conducted an opinion poll for Delhi when Indira Gandhi was assassinated, and Rajiv became temporary prime minister at that time when the polls were held in October 84. I predicted that Congress will sweep the Delhi polls and will get about 66% votes. R.K. Mishra was not convinced with my report. He told me, what variation do you have in the percentage that you have mentioned? What is the limit? So I said, statistically, we can calculate the limit because based on sample size, we have a margin. So for each seat, I calculated the margin, and then he printed the report on the third page, but he printed the margin on the first page, front page. And he said, since I'm not sure about this opinion poll, and we are conducting for the first time. Now, what happened after the election came out? Congress exactly got the same percentage of votes which I had predicted and swept Delhi polls with 7 seats. R.K. Mishra wrote an editorial on the front page, and he said, I did not ever believe in any opinion poll till this. I'm talking about 1984 story, which is 40 years back. And then he wrote a note that this agency, that is my agency, Pulse, so he said, I'm going to give them regular opinion poll work. So immediately after Rajiv Gandhi became prime minister, I did another opinion poll and then several other opinion polls for that newspaper later on. Now that is as far as the opinion polls are concerned. Jagdish, you had questioned the reliability. Last 5 opinion polls or exit polls. 2004, all the pollsters were wrong. 2009, yes. All the pollsters were wrong. 2014, half of them were right, half of them were wrong. 2019 was the only election, last election, where there was a wave in favor of Modi, and almost all opinion polls were correct. 2019 election. But if you look at the history, it has always been lukewarm, hot sometimes, cold sometimes. That means right sometime and wrong sometime. So this time, we all know how the media has been captured by the ruling alliance, and therefore I have already said in the beginning, the figures projected by all these electronic media channels, I feel that some paper or some chit had gone to these offices by giving them some kind of number, and they had just put, जैसे आपने बोला, दो इधर कम कर दो, दो उधर बढ़ा दो, and that is how the similarity of the opinion polls. So therefore, I had rejected it in the beginning of the program itself. Now, Dr. Swamy, if you have to say something.
No, I'm nothing. All the points have come on. Now just you have to wind up. That's all.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Swamy.
Go ahead. Okay, before Arvind winds up, I just want to thank our viewers for the tremendous response we have got for today's program. In one indicator, it is showing me 19,835 live viewers for this today's program. As you know, we are on various channels and some things can't be counted, but this is the live viewership. We are also watched afterwards. YouTube and other things are watched also. Podcast is what. But I thank our viewers for this tremendous support. But one piece of advice, a pulse of the people, Mr. Modi had 2 days meditation at Kanyakumari, and perhaps the direction which he sees, he would be east. And if he is seeing, I would say northeast, if he sees, he must have been reminded of the Ram Setu, which is to be declared as a national heritage monument. And I hope he would have got the enlightenment in these 2 days, and hope if he is coming back to power, he will implement this thing in the first 100 days of declaring the Ram Setu as a national heritage monument. But those things apart, we will hope to have a special program on the election result day, that is on the 4th, perhaps around the same time, 8 o'clock Indian Standard Time. It's over to Arvind Chaturvedi.
He will not. By the way, he will not on that. He will not do it because I will get the credit. It is I who brought it on it. You see, so he is not going to do for Ram Setu under any circumstance. In fact, Nitin Gadkari had prepared the whole thing, and then the Mr. Patel, who was heading the our culture ministry, he also prepared a beautiful note. He sent it to Modi, and Modi just put it in his drawer. And the last 9 years, he has not dealt with it. So that is the kind of mentality he has, and we must have no more of this in our country if we call ourselves a democracy.
I have only one point, and Arvind, this is more of a question to you. If all these polls are predicting, as we see, close to 400, so in 2014, the huge anti-corruption so-called Modi wave, 2019 massive Modi wave, could not cross beyond 320. What makes you think that, what wave are we seeing today? This push can go to 400. I don't know. I'm just trying to see. If you are going to do, you're going to do at least a 20% better performance than even 2019. There should be some trigger. What is the trigger that you see? I mean, there should be something, some logic in saying that, you know, you're making these kind of projections, huge numbers, close to 380, 390. Where is the jump going to come from?
Yeah. This figure is, I mean, it's totally illogical. Nobody can explain how these opinion polls state-wise, if we count and question that which state, how many seats they can get. There is no reason. And the kind of discontent that people have, the kind of dissatisfaction people have, especially young people without job and without employment, I mean, and the kind of price rise that you have, the dissatisfaction in the country is going to reflect in the form of the results from the machines. And I'm sure BJP will not get the majority of its own. But just one question to Dr. Swamy, one brief question. Dr. Swamy, what is the probability of Nitin Gadkari becoming the Prime Minister?
He deserves to become, but in politics, there's no such thing as probability.
Yeah, Devagowda is one example.
Gujarat,
of all people.
He deserves to become Prime Minister, and he will always get my support.
Because BJP is going to be the largest party in any case. So the president will call the BJP. Now BJP will have to go and then present a leader that we are going to form the government.
They will have to show that they will either prove majority on the floor or convince the president that they have a majority. If he
like in 1996, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was called to form the government, though it was a minority government that lasted for 13 days.
Dayal Sharma's mischief. He gave him 13 days and then did chutti to him. So, in fact, Vajpayee should not have even accepted it. But, for him, it was bonanza. So, no. The question is, the single largest party definitely will be called first. And the single largest party will be BJP, even now, despite all that Modi has done to it. So, at that time, there may be parties which will come together. We will have to employ, it can't be done by a single person. It has to be a teamwork who will go to different parties and find out. You can't have every party. You can't have the Congress party as supporting us. It will be something that will be a disaster for our standing. But there are so many other parties. That is what is to be seen. And that we will have another session when the results come out and the government making starts. That time on a Sunday, which will be very soon, we shall discuss this what is possible.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy. It's always interesting to discuss the possibilities of different parties or different combinations forming a government, and especially after the election, the discussing the polls. It is neither here nor there. Nothing predictable can be said, but yes, different angles we can examine what is being said and what is being observed. Thank you very much for giving us the lead and informing us your point of view, how the governments can be formed and how the government can be formed in the week to come, the next week actually. Thank you, Jagdish Shetty ji. Thank you, Ramesh Swamy ji, for anchoring this program for such a long time. Thank you all the viewers. As Jagdish said, there's a huge support today for such an interesting program. Thanks the technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Swami Lion, Tejas Navalgul, Gadki Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Aegis, and Vishal. Thank you very much. As Jagdish suggested, on the 4th of June, day after tomorrow, we may come again to discuss this election. And maybe by the next Sunday, the new government will be formed, or it will be very close to the formation of the government. And we'll also be discussing that in future. Regular Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga program, 8 p.m. Sunday. Thank you. Till then, namaskar and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, yes.